What is up, my buttery biscuits? Y'all, it's been a hot minute since we talked about MAC within a video. Well, MAC solely, I should say. I feel like maybe every now and then I'll talk about MAC within a new makeup drops or they bops or flops, or maybe kind of like an anti-haul. But within today's video, we are solely talking about MAC because I'm really wondering if they are making a comeback. This is just such a trip because I feel like they've been like radio silent for a while, and now they're actually coming out with a lot of interesting products. I do want to say before we jump into this, we're going to be talking about 3 products specifically, mainly eyeshadows within today's video, eyeshadow palettes, I should say, which I do feel like is very rare for MAC to be coming out with so many eyeshadow palettes. I feel like it's good and I feel like it's bad only because I do feel like the market is completely oversaturated with eyeshadow palettes. You guys know whenever I do my anti-haul, there is always a gang of eyeshadow palettes within those videos, only because I feel like there is just every single color story has been done, and MAC is coming out with a bunch of eyeshadow palettes, and I'm like, okay, that is good for them because obviously for years MAC is known for their individual eyeshadows. However, I feel like they really should have entered the competition years ago whenever the Urban Decay Naked palette was like becoming on and popping. So many people were buying that, and then a lot of people didn't want to shop at MAC for eyeshadow specifically because it was all individual and you have to build your own palette. And y'all, I remember specifically back then working at the counter, people found it really difficult to build their palette because they're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Sometimes when you see a pre-made palette, you kind of get inspired by that and you start thinking about, oh, I could do this and I could do that, rather than looking at 50 plus colors and being like, oh my gosh, this is too overwhelming. How do I make a palette? How do I make a quad? How do I make a 12 pan eyeshadow palette? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a little bit too much. And I feel like MAC really did take way too long to start coming out with eyeshadow palettes. I do feel like, you know, obviously whenever they did have kind of like a limited edition collection, they would come out with, you know, maybe a palette every now and then, and they would come out with like big palettes every now and then, but they never really came out with like a whole bunch of palettes like other brands do. And I feel like they should have entered the competition when Urban Decay was coming up with their palettes, because I feel like that's what really brought people over to Urban Decay and eyeshadow palettes, because they made it convenient. You know what I'm saying? We're also going to be talking about another product within today's video called the Lip Squirt, which I do want to say, like, when I first heard that, I was thinking like, okay, maybe this product is going to have like a push up type of thing and it's going to like squirt out. No, that's not the case. And I was like, why are they calling it Lip Squirt? I'm like, that's a little bit nasty. Like, am I tripping? Is my mind just nasty? I'm like, Lip Squirt? I mean, come on, y'all. Like, you know, we're all thinking it. Like, when you hear lip squirt, what do you think of? You know what I mean? Not trying to be like X-rated here on YouTube, but I'm just kind of like, why are you calling it lip squirt? And it doesn't even squirt. We're going to talk about that product. And then we are going to be talking about some new translucent powders that they are going to be coming out with. So if you guys are interested in this video, of course, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you guys head over to my second channel. It'll be linked down below. I upload new videos there every single Sunday with my brother. Make sure you guys check out the Virgin Voyages videos, y'all, because I'm sorry, but like those I feel like are like my best videos, you know, because I feel like obviously, like, if you look back on some things are like pre-filmed, you know what I'm saying, but I feel like I'm getting better and better with my filming, and I feel like the Virgin one is just from February, so I'm like, you know, I stepped my game up a little bit. So check out that one. Check out the first Virgin Voyage video, y'all. I feel like, ooh, I think I did a really good job with that. Here I am tooting my own horn, y'all. I feel like a little filmmaker on that channel. I actually really like it because I like got all types of like equipment and stuff to like film and to edit, and y'all, I'm like taking this little online editing course to learn how to better edit, and I'm just like really having fun with it. So make sure you guys go show some love over there. Once again, give a thumbs up to this video if you guys are interested in MAC. Give a thumbs up to this video if you guys think that MAC is making a comeback, y'all. Because scrolling through Trend Mood, I'm like, oh my gosh, like a lot of people are talking about MAC, which is a trip because I feel like they have just been really kind of dying off for years now, and finally they're coming out with some new things. So anyways, let me shut up and let's go ahead and get into this video. Also, I want to say before even getting into this video, I did mention in a new makeup drops, are they bops or flops, there is actually a new MAC product that I want to try, which is that pen concealer. I'm like really interested to try that, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I still haven't made my way to Namies. I'm still waiting to pick up the new Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Powder. They actually do have that in stock at Namies, but they don't have the new MAC concealer. So I'm kind of like waiting to like go over there to when they have that so I can pick up both of those products. Also, by the way, speaking of MAC, if you guys did not see in one of my like most recent videos, I was talking about the new moisturizer. I literally always forget the name of it. Like, oh my gosh, it's like 5 feet away from me, but I'm too lazy to get up and go get it. It's called something like Beam, or I don't know. I'll put a picture of it again on the screen. That has been my go-to moisturizer, y'all, for like ever since my birthday, which was in February. So 2 months now, I have been using that. My friend got it for me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. I know everything works different on everybody's skin, but for some reason, that moisturizer actually helps tone down my redness, which is literally not even a claim of the product. Like, I read all up on it, and I'm like, oh, like it doesn't even claim to help with redness, but it does help tone down my redness. It really trips me out, and I really love it. If you guys have not tried it out, I highly recommend it. Also, well, by the way, let me say I highly recommend it if you have like normal skin. Maybe like combination normal skin. I wouldn't say like if you guys have like the most dry skin, it is like the perfect moisturizer before makeup. It's not like super heavy. It's not super moisturizing. It's just like the perfect amount of moisture before makeup. What was I gonna say? Let's go to talk about these lip squirts first, okay? Because these have people talking and people are kind of like, okay, I know why people are talking because of the name, obviously. It's like, okay, let me read to you what they are first and then we'll talk about some of the colors. So this is what it says. Oh, Squirt Plumping Gloss Sticks is what it's called. Why did I think it was called Lip Squirt? Oh my god, here I am literally giving it all. Not me being the one that's all nasty, but obviously it's a lip product and it's called Squirt, okay? Maybe that's why my mind was there, okay? Oh my gosh. Anyways, this is what it says right here on Trend Mood. It says, now in new tints that plump lips with juicy, glossy color in a stick, ginger root oil, and I do not know how to say this word whatsoever, but I'm going to try. Capsicum, I don't know, extract, bring the heat, while menthol crystals cool, serving up a subtle tingling sensation that provides instant plumping and visible volume. Coconut oil, shea butter, and avocado oil nourish, condition, and impart glassy shine. It's available in 10 shades. Actually, it's going to be available in the UK first, and then in July it'll be available in other countries. I do want to say a product like this, actually looking at the swatches, as you guys can see from right here, it definitely does look like a type of product that I will like. You guys know I'm always raving about this Rem Beauty lip oil. I have it on right now. I just feel like it is like the perfect amount for me. It has a tiny little bit of color, not too much shine, but a good amount of shine. And this right here, these look absolutely beautiful. They look like your lips will be super moisturizing. I do want to say though, the yellow, well, what is that, like two different yellow shades? Because, oh, it's like orangey and a green one. It looks yellow on a swatch. Those ones kind of throw me off a bit. I think it'll be cute and fun, you know what I mean? But I'm just kind of like, ooh, I don't know about that. Of course, I'm gravitated towards the one in the middle that does have that little tiny tint of pink. I definitely do think that these sound interesting, and I do love that they are in a stick form. Y'all, let me tell you guys, when I worked at M.A.C, I absolutely loved their lip gloss. Like, their lip gloss to me was just so high shine, so beautiful. I would put it on so many girls after I would put on a lip, but I would always put it on obviously with like a brush and whatnot, because I feel like using a gloss like that, especially one that's a little bit more thick, it's like, y'all, it's so hard to put on with a tube. I love that this is in a stick. To me, that's super convenient, and I feel like it's very easy to carry with you. And also, I do like the packaging too, that the packaging obviously does have like the color of what's inside. Also, I forgot to mention they do have a clear as well too. So I like the pink one or the clear one. I think those two right there, I would definitely be interested in, and these look like really fun. And I like the packaging on them, and I just wonder how they will feel on the lip, because you guys know me, I'm always raving about my lip Vaseline. I just love them. There is no pricing details on this. Like I said, this is available in the UK first, so I don't know about here in America, but these will probably be coming out soon in July, as it says. The next product I want to talk about right here actually has me interested, because I know I probably sound like just like a broken record, always repeating myself, but I really do feel like more companies need to invest in complexion products. I feel like the most of people out there are really always on the search for complexion products. You guys know that I'm always saying, with me personally, I always want to try new concealers, new powders, and new foundations, and like tints as well too. And it's so funny because literally like everybody within my friend group and my family, they always want to try new complexion products, because we're all on the search for a holy grail product that is going to sit well with our skin, do all of our needs, because it's kind of like the product that we all pretty much wear the most, you know. I remember back in the day, actually, when I worked at M.A.C, they said the number one worn product is lipstick and mascara, but I really do feel like that has changed now. I feel like I see the most of like everybody who wears any type of makeup product, it's normally like a tint or a foundation or a powder, something along those lines, and I feel like everybody really does like to try a new complexion product, you know, especially because like there's just so many different things always coming out, and I do feel like there's so many different technologies that are being inputted into foundations, and I really do feel like brands should focus on that a little bit more. So I'm glad that they're actually coming out with some new setting powders. Do you guys want to know something tragic, y'all? I am so stupid. Oh my gosh. One time I was doing my homegirls, thank God she's my friend, you know, but it was a big occasion. I was doing her makeup for her baby shower. And y'all, I just do not know why. For some reason, it just never dawned on me that I could not use the Prep and Prime setting powder to bake. I was baking underneath her under eye because she does have like kind of like, you know, a decent amount of creases. So I wanted to bake under there. I was completely mortified, y'all. And when I say mortified, I was like, oh my gosh, I literally edited all of her favorite pictures because I felt so bad because she had pictures taken and whatnot, and the flashback was so severe. I was like, oh my gosh. It was only like maybe my like oh my gosh, maybe it was like my first year or second year of working at MAC. And ever since then, I hated, and I do mean hated, that powder. Like, it really bothered me because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I thought I could use it all throughout the face. But you know what's really crazy too is, yes, obviously, like, I did touch up throughout the face with it. So she did have a little bit of flashback on some other areas, but obviously under the eye was the worst. So I'm like, why would you just use that powder anyways? You know what I'm saying? I haven't touched that product in years, but I'm really curious how these would be right here. So these are actually called the Studio Fix Pro Set Plus Blur Weightless Loose Powder. And this is what it says on the details right here on Trend Mood once again. It says Studio Fix collection is expanding with a new breathable, pro-inspired setting powder, an ultra-refined loose powder that sets makeup all day, instantly absorbs oil, and provides a photo-friendly matte finish with a 3D blurring effect. Includes a plush puff applicator. Lightweight, ultra-refined powder. Wait, did I already? Oh, that's literally repeating itself right there. Anyways, right here, so it says that it smooths the look of blemishes, 8-hour color true wear, doesn't settle, cake, or crease, perspiration and humidity resistant, does not cause acne. These are $36. These are actually available now, and these are all the different shades right here. So we do have light, medium, medium deep, dark, and deep dark. So I do like that they're available in different shades, and then also I love that they are photo friendly, but that does make me curious to try out, y'all, because I'm telling you, ever since that Prep and Prime setting powder, if you guys know which one I'm talking about, it's in that tiny little like clear bottom case with a black top on it. Oh, y'all, that powder just steered me the wrong way. Speaking of powders, does anybody remember, this is years ago, like I want to say maybe about 12 years ago, whenever MAC came out with their mineralized skin finish powders, they also had a loose version of, I don't know if it was called a mineralized skin finish powder, but it was a loose mineral powder that had this weird component that you kind of like twist off, and it has the like top on it. I don't know if you guys have seen the mini version of the Huda Beauty these powders right here, the mini version of these ones. They have like the same type of thing where they have like a little built-in sponge. Do you guys remember those powders by MAC? Because I was obsessed with those powders. Like, those powders were like my favorite, and then they discontinued them, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love them so much. I wish that they would come out with something like that. Like, I wish that they would come out with something that's similar to the Vanishing Veil by Hourglass. Y'all, I'm like curious to try this right here. I don't know if I will try it, being that it is matte and it's supposed to be blurring. It's kind of like not what I'm going for these days. And I do have to say, I have tried so many translucent powders, but ever since using the Hourglass Veil, what is it called? Yeah, just Hourglass Veil translucent setting powder. I literally have 3 of them because I'm like, if I lose one, if I run out of it, like I need that powder. I wear it every single day. It is so amazing, especially on my aging skin. You guys know, like right here, this part of my face, I just really cannot stand anymore. The older that I get, I feel like it's getting a little bit crepey. That is the only powder that helps combat that. If I use even the Huda Beauty right there, like it just does not look good. But it's funny though, because I still love the Huda Beauty in the center of my face where I get the most oily, and then I'll use that for the rest of my face, and I absolutely love it. So I am curious to try this powder right here, but I am a little bit apprehensive because I'm like, ooh, I feel like maybe it'll show off my fine lines and like wrinkles and stuff. But we'll see. Maybe if I try it, if they bring it out to Amy's, then maybe I'll give it a shot, because I'll get 20% off there. You know what's so crazy? I worked for MAC for literally over 7 years, and I always, like, I have applied for the MAC Pro card, I want to say probably about 3 times now with all of my credentials. I get denied every single time, and I'm like, it's so crazy because before I even worked at MAC, I was part of the MAC Pro program. But then obviously as soon as I got employed with MAC, I had my discount card, so I was like, oh, I don't need to pay the membership anymore for MAC Pro. Please tell me why they just literally will not accept my application. I'm like, oh, I'm so over it, because I do believe you get like, what is it, like 30% or maybe 40%? I forget exactly what it is, but it is more than Amy's, because at Amy's you only get 20% off, which really isn't much. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about all these eyeshadow palettes right here. They are coming out with, oh my gosh, let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are coming out with 7 different eyeshadow palettes. Now, here's the thing. Okay, everything has been done before. I don't know, like, how many colors can we create here? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like everything has been done. Everything is repetitive, obviously, at this point. So do obviously have that in the back of your mind that you probably do have palettes like this already. I do want to say, obviously, there's one fun color story within here, and the rest are just like neutrals, like straight up neutrals. You have one palette that does have some cool tones in it, and then the rest are just like warm tones. You guys know that I love, and I absolutely love a warm tone palette, but this to me just looks like, it looks like a little bit too much of the same type of stuff. And then on top of that too, I just want to say, like, I don't know if I'm feeling the packaging on this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I don't know what they were thinking of. It looks like an interior design type of thing going on here. I'm not really getting it. Like, I don't know. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about these right here. So these are actually available now as well too. This is what it says: Connect and Color Eyeshadow Palette. So the little 6-pan ones retail for $34, and then the bigger ones, which are 12 pans, retail for $54. I don't think that's too bad for MAC. I do obviously need to see these in person to know the size of them, because I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember that MAC used to have like mini palettes. I don't know if they still do, y'all. I haven't shopped at MAC in a minute, but they used to have mini ones. So I'm like, I don't know if these are full size or what, but if they are full size, that is a good deal. So anyways, the ones that I want to talk about right here that actually stand out to me the most are the pink one, which you guys can see from these swatches right here. It's very reminiscent to me of Huda Beauty. Not Huda Beauty, of Pat McGrath. I feel like she always does like these types of tones, but then looking at the swatches, I do feel like it is beautiful. And then I actually, of course, like, y'all, I feel like you just can't go wrong with the warm tone palette. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it is so repetitive. Yes, there is 500,000 of them out there on the market, but obviously these are so repetitive because so many people buy them, because they're just kind of like a staple and they go good on every single skin tone. So I really do like this warm tone palette, the one with the door on it. Once again, like, I don't know, this packaging to me is like, this is like a door or something, or like a entryway or something in the desert. Like, I'm just not getting these palettes. Like, the outside of it just looks really, really weird to me. I don't know how I feel about it, but I don't know. It looks like it's a hard plastic, and it looks like it has a big mirror inside, so I will say that does look good. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this fun color story right here, because I do want to say, I like that this is actually something a little bit different, something a little bit more fun, something that is a little bit more vibrant. I was looking at the swatches of this, and I was expecting something to be, I don't know, I was expecting to like look at the swatches and be like, oh my gosh, like this really like pops. But looking at the color story of it, I'm so in between on it. Like, there's some colors that I really like in there, like the shade number 3. I'm like, oh, that looks beautiful. It looks like kind of like a blue brown shade. Is that what it was called? They used to have a pigment before called like blue brown or like boot brown or something like that, where it would shift from brown to blue. It was so beautiful. And then also, I really do love the teal shade at the very end. Like, there's some really gorgeous shades in here, but I'm like, overall, is it a cohesive palette? Can you build like a fun look with this? I'm sure you can, obviously. My whole thing is, you guys know that I absolutely love a palette that has fun colors mixed with neutral colors in there. I feel like that's like the perfect balance, because me, especially at my age, maybe when I was younger, I would stack blues on tops of yellows and then throw orange in there. Like, I would be crazy with it. But the older that I get, say for example, if I'm going to be doing a vibrant look, I'm going to be wearing a pop of color with neutrals. I'm not going to put color on top of color. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this, because I do think there are some beautiful shades in here, but it's just going to be like one bam look, you know what I'm saying? But if that's what you're into, obviously, then I feel like that's good. I think that they could have made a couple other palettes within their whole collection right here with fun colors mixed with neutral colors, and I do find it a little bit disappointing that they don't have any palettes that do have a mixture of them. You're only getting neutrals, or you're getting this one pop of color, and that's pretty much it. And I don't see why, if you're coming out with all these palettes, why can't you have one that has a mixture of both? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, y'all, that is it for our MAC talk today. I do want to say kudos to them for finally coming out with some type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's been a minute since I'm like, oh my gosh, like, good for MAC. I feel like, oof, for the past few years, they've just really been stagnant. But over the past couple months, they are coming out with some pretty cool, interesting products, like that pin concealer, this squirt plumping lip gloss. Like, okay, I cannot believe that I was like literally thinking it was called lip squirt. In my head, you cannot tell me that it was not called lip squirt. I dead ass thought it was called lip squirt, and now looking back on it, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so stupid. Anyways, and then also the powders as well too. I feel like, okay, good for them for finally like trying new things. I really do hope that they step it up with some more like lightweight coverage foundations, you know, because I do feel like for the longest time, MAC is known for their coverage. They have heavy duty coverage, and I would like to see a little bit more of a like, you know what I would like to see from MAC? A foundation that's similar to Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, something like that. You know what I mean? That provides a really good medium coverage, but that is like obviously buildable if you want. You know what I'm saying? Because I do feel like everything that they have is like, ooh, it's like shablam. You know, obviously I know MAC face and body and all that good stuff, but anyways, y'all, I do want to say I don't know if MAC is back. I haven't tried these products obviously, but I think I might try the powder maybe in the summer, because honestly I have been loving this Hourglass Veil powder, but the thing is it's been really, really cool. Do you know what I'm saying? So being that it has been cool, I'm kind of like, ooh, maybe it won't wear well in the summer. So maybe I will try a product like the MAC one during the summer, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.